Where's my sound? There we go. Okay, we're good. We're good. Boop boom. So how is everybody doing? People were saying hi to each other in the chat. I'm gonna make life easier on myself and open up another screen so I can track the chat a little better, hopefully. Uh, doop, doop, doop. Let me make sure I'm not gonna. There we go. Doop. All right, cool. All right. So I'm pretty tired. I just been working. Technically, I think I clocked in at 78 hours last week or something like that. Everybody's saying hi, Dawn and Mickey. Mickey is underneath the car seat right now. We actually just got finished doing laundry. I say we, like Mickey did anything, but I just got finished doing laundry. So I have all of my clean sheets, because they're clean, but I haven't made up the bed yet. And I went to the grocery store and I did some general errands. Oh, I'm sorry, 78 hours in 2 weeks. I'm all burned out because I have to submit my time sheets bi-weekly. So yeah, it was a little less than 40 hours a week, actual time on site. But it was just, we had some late days and the schedule is not regular. I like how I just completely diverted. So today and yesterday off. And so the yesterday it was basically a burnout day. It was almost a waste. And today has been more of my errands day before we start rehearsing again this week. And the weeks are irregular, so it's not like we're rehearsing the same hours every day. They actually rotate and change per week. Some days they're early, sometimes they're late, sometimes we have 2 sessions and a dinner break. And the irregularity is just what makes it really hard to sort of figure out where other stuff fits in the gaps between everything. And I didn't even realize Saturday was Saturday. I was like, oh yeah, this is Saturday, because it had been my Friday. And anybody who's worked a non-standard week probably knows what that like, because everybody else are in Saturday mode and it's just a work day for you. I've worked many a job where I had to work weekends. And so I always said my Friday or my Monday, because it was never on actual Monday or Friday. And that was life. And life has kind of remained that way. Because when you work theater, guess when shows happen? On the weekends when everybody's off. So it's kind of normal for me to not have weekends free. But during the rehearsal process, I'll probably have at least one or both free and Monday. It's just gonna be crazy schedule. All right, let me go through the comments. Let me look a bit at the comments because I've just been talking. Sadie Louise said, I'm here for something finally. Thank you for making it. Charv Hart, I'm glad you're able to make a live stream. Ramona, thank you for the reminder on the thumbs up. Kylie, what's up? I see you, Casey Life Adventures. All right, cute. So I don't have a lot, and my energy is really low. I did end up editing a video though, and it will be out on Wednesday. I have to get that uploaded and make a thumbnail and all that stuff. But I did get a video edited, so that's going to be up on Wednesday. And I did a poll. I'm always doing polls, but most of those polls are video ideas. It's just I want to kind of hear sort of responses, and I try to stay out, but sometimes I'm like, I need to reply to this, and sometimes I actually don't need to. But anyway, the van life while doing city work poll, or whatever the actual question was, I turned that into a video, so that's going to be a video that's coming out on Wednesday. And I'm semi happy with it. I'll probably be less happy with it by the time I hit publish, because that's what happens. But I'm like, but that's the way life goes. Chanel Perez says, "Is this a long running job?" I would say yes. I'm going to be here till October, which is actually great. It'll definitely give me the ability to put some money away in a way I haven't been able to. Like, I've been getting by month to month, but by the time, like, you know, I got gas, I paid for my car insurance, I paid for my phones, you know, I did the things I had to do, I really didn't have much to anything left. So after I got the fuel pump fixed, honestly, like, I had a hard to difficult time sort of rebuilding my nest egg. And that's the thing about a nest egg. Yeah, it's nice to say you should have one, but once it goes away, like, how quickly can you replenish it? And that's something nobody, like, oh, you need to have it, like it's going to be there forever. If you hit any situation where you have to use it, it's gone. And so then you have to think about how you're going to rebuild that nest egg, and just there's not been enough cash flow to really build it back up, you know. And so, like, I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to rebuild that again. I have no current plans to do anything crazy, and if that makes my channel boring for a while, that's fine. You know, I'm going to build up my savings account and make my life a little bit more secure before I move forward to the next big adventure. I mean, this is an adventure in and of itself for me, especially working for an organization this big, because I just haven't. Like, I've worked with a lot of small theaters with little to no budget, and this is kind of the biggest institution I've ever worked for in my theater track. So, yeah. Scott, what's up? I'm looking through the comments. Demalia J says, "Hi, Dawn. Happy to see you. Give Mickey a hug for me." If he comes out right now, he's in his "don't bother me" spot underneath the car seat. Tina says, "My fuel pump just died too." Yeah, it sucks. I mean, like, as much as it sucks, it's honestly something fairly standard that happens. And it's not fun when you don't have the money to fix it at all, or like you're struggling to get the money. But it's honestly, I mean, it's something fairly standard that comes up, is that fuel pumps go out and have to be replaced. It's not, it feels like the worst thing in the world when you're in the middle of it. Like when your vehicle won't run, well, it can't do its most basic function. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not something unusual that happens to, like, vehicles, depending on how long the fuel pump's been there, you know. It's just one of those unfortunate things. Boop, boop, boop. Gerald Spence says, "Hi from Canada. How about those gas prices? Yikes." Yeah, it's a yikes, but at this point, honestly, they haven't changed that much that I have seen in my personal areas. Like, they're high, but I don't see them continuing to rise, at least where I am. I'm basically floating between like $4.50 a gallon and $4.75 a gallon, and luckily, like, right now I don't have to drive a whole bunch. I'm going to be talking about this in the video I release on Wednesday. I know I've talked about it on Patreon, but I don't know if I've said it on YouTube proper. But basically, somebody at OSF, Oregon Shakespeare Festival, their neighbor gave me a place to park. And so it's walking distance from the theater. And so, like, I'm parked there. I can walk to work, and then I just walk back, and it's 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how lazy I'm being or how fast I want to go. And so I've just been parked there, so I haven't had to do a lot of, like, driving around. And even before that, like, I was kind of staying in the Ashland Medford area, I wasn't like, driving all over the place. Like, I kind of had it all picked out, and then I would make sure I was parked near the theater before my shift started. Then I would go to work, then I get off work, and I just made sure I floated around enough that I wasn't in one place too long. But like I said, one of the festival's employees, their neighbor who doesn't live that far from the theater, had a big enough parking pad for me to get in there. And so like now I have that, which is great. So I only really have to drive when I'm doing errands, and then I can just go back there and be there. Yeah. Kim Nelligan says, you've got to do what you got to do. Money makes the world go round. Yeah, you got to earn money. Money is part of survival, and I always want to keep money in its proper place. Like, I don't want to get so obsessed with it that I would do anything for it, but it's something you need. And right now I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm doing the job I don't hate to do it, which is great. Even before I got this job, I was already thinking, hey, I might look into camp hosting, I might look into this. So I'd already been considering, like, what can I do to sort of get a larger chunk of money in a smaller space of time than I can make just doing YouTube. And a lot was going on at that point. And then I got this job offer, and it was still several months till the job started, but then at that point I at least knew it was coming. I didn't want to talk about it because of what happened during COVID. I'm realizing I was so afraid that this was going to go away before I got here. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was so afraid that it was going to go away before I actually physically got here, which obviously didn't happen. And that's why I was kind of like, I kind of have a job, and for them, like, even though I hadn't signed on the dotted line, for them, they were totally planning for me to be here, and for me, I was still like, something's gonna happen and this might not happen, so I don't want to talk about it and then it not happen. Now I'm here and I've started, and so like I can kind of let some of that go, and that makes me feel good. Rebecca Farrell says, I hear that I've been recently hit by some crazy unexpected vet bills for my cat. My old man cat is doing better. My bank account, not so much. Well, I'm glad to hear the cat's okay. Yeah, and it really hurts when you have that cushion for something to come up that takes it away. Because on one hand, there's the positive of I had the money, I was able to fix my vehicle or help my animal or help myself. But now what do I do to get that security back? And that can be hard. That can really be a really hard moment. And all we can do is what we can do, That's how it is at the end of the day. Ramona Hopewell says, when Dawn is happy, we are happy. If you're not taking care of you, then you can't put out all the fun videos. Thank you, Ramona. Rob, what's up? Rob, who's happy gay free in a school. He says, hey Dawn, how's it going? I am doing all right. I'm settled down here in Ashland. I'm working and I'm saving my monies, and going to try to get the truck in the best mechanical shape I can. And hopefully I'll have a large enough gap to drive up to Eugene later in the season. It ain't gonna be anytime soon, but hopefully. We'll see. Shara Mills says, oh my god, working for the OSF has got to be so cool. It is very cool. And the area is gorgeous. I mean, like, it's just a gorgeous area. It's a lovely area to be in. It's like, yeah, you have all the access and conveniences of sort of a city situation. But at the same time, like, sometimes you just look in one direction and there are these beautiful views. And then Ashland, like, downtown is such a cute little place. I absolutely love Ashland so much. Oh, looks like I got some super chats. Thank you so much. Helping me out with that $4.50 a gallon. Ziggy, thank you for the $8.99. And not US dollars. Terry Newell, thank you for the $25 in gas money. Thank you so much. And Shar Mills, thank you for that $10. That'll give me a couple of gallons of gas. Julianne says, Dawn, how's the weather been there? Is it nice enough to go hiking outdoors and take you with you on a hike? Well, I need time to go on a hike, which I do not have right now because I'm working. The weather's fine. It rains occasionally, but nothing too bad. But like, you know, I need time to go on a hike. Right now, I don't even have time to like go to work and edit videos. Two things that make me money. I'm struggling with those two. So I don't know how far in the future a hike is booked. um Rebecca Farrell, I'm assuming this is to gas prices, says, nice, that's cheaper than California. Yes, some areas of California. It was closer to $5 for me, closer to like busy city centers and downtown areas. But there were a couple places in Oakland, even when I left, that were still in the 450 to 475 range. I mean, they were off the beaten path, but they existed. Deborah on the Go says, that's awesome. I bet that parking spot is a sweet relief. It is. And also, it's money saving. Because even though I wasn't driving that much, I literally now, on my days off, that's when I do all my errands, all my running around town. And so usually, you know, 4 or 5 days out of the week, I don't have to move at all. And, you know, on my days off, those are the days that I actually drive off and do errands. And I don't have to move. Like, I can move when I want to, when it's absolutely necessary. Not because I'm trying to, like, do the stealth city life thing, which I'm used to. But it's always nice to kind of get a break from something that is a little time consuming, and it just gave me a lot of time back, and it's also money I'm not spending on gas, and all those things are positive. Chanel Perez says, good opportunity to ride your bike to and from work. I just walk. That's a great idea if it wasn't kind of a pain in the butt to get the bike in and out. I still do my indoor biking 3 days a week. So I do that as an indoor exercise. So as far as that as a cardio event, I'm doing that inside, and it would be too much of a pain in the butt to take it in and out. It's not that hard, but it's enough of a pain. Honestly, I like walking. And I find when I'm biking, there's outside, I have to be like super aware, because I have to be aware of traffic. I have to be aware of people. I have to be aware of all these things I don't have to be aware of when I just use it on my bike trainer inside. And I don't really take it in as an enjoyable experience in the same way. Whereas when I'm walking, I take walking in as an enjoyable experience. So I actually like walking as opposed to trying to drag my bike out every day, because it's too much of a pain in the butt, and I just don't feel like doing it. As a commuter vehicle. If I was like, oh, this is a gorgeous place to do a bike ride for fun, and there's like a trail for it, that would be more something where I feel like it was worth it to like pull the bike outside. As it is, I can do my biking inside 3 days a week as a workout on my bike trainer, and walk to work. And I usually come, if I have a dinner break, I will usually come back to the truck. So that's 4 walks a day. If it's a split day with a dinner break. So that's plenty of walking. It's still cardio, and I like it more than trying to drag my bike out. Like, the reason for me to take my bike outside would be like a specific area where I'm going to bike, as opposed to trying to use it as a commuter vehicle. I really just don't want to. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Ziggy says, I can be on for a few minutes before I have to go to bed. Well, I'm for however long you can hang out, I'm glad to have you here. You got to do what you got to do, woman. You know. Leroy Simpkins said, did COVID delay your travels? No. I probably did more traveling during COVID than I did ever, to be quite honest, because I was in Ashland. I got my job canceled, and then that was when I decided I was going to drive across the country and close the storage unit I'd opened in Baltimore before I left. And so that was my first cross-country trip. I'd never driven across the country before. And then, of course, once I got done, I had to come back. So then there was that cross-country trip. I went to Gutted. I went to RTR. I would say in general, even though I was doing it on thin funds and on a tight budget, I probably did more traveling during COVID times than I did before COVID times, to be quite honest. And it was just my situation. Like, I had to stay home. My home had wheels, and at the time I was able to skate by on YouTube because I got into a panic. I was like, well, the thing that was supposed to make me the most money went away. And that was a point when I doubled down on YouTube, and I really, really was like churning stuff out. I don't even know how I did that because I don't even have the energy for that now. And it was an act of desperation, to be quite honest. And I took a couple of odd jobs here and there. I did a couple of theater shows that for small theaters that gave me like a flat fee. I took some odd jobs here and there, and I made it. But as far as like actual travel, like I probably did more during COVID than less. Because again, my house was on wheels. So as long as I had gas money, I just drove, you know. I would like to do more that's not linked to having to be somewhere. So when I went to clean out my storage unit, yes, I got to enjoy going across the country. I went to Utah and Colorado and all these places for the first time, and they were gorgeous, and I want to go back. But I want to go back when I have time, and I'm not thinking, hey, I have this much time to get to this spot, to complete this task, and then turn around and come back. And then once I got back, I still kind of stayed on the West Coast, because I knew if I needed the best job opportunities, probably the best place I was going to find them is towards Oakland and Berkeley. And so I didn't want to be so far that I couldn't jump on an opportunity if it came. So once I got back to the West Coast, I still kind of stayed here. Yeah, so that's my answer to that. Gina, what's up? I am way behind in the chat. You've probably been here for a while. Penn in Kentucky says, Dawn, how's the job going? Honestly, I love it. Like, I'm tired and I'm exhausted. Just because it's the late rehearsals that get me, because I am not a night person. I very much like to wake up early and go to bed at night. I am not the person who's going to be out at night doing nighttime activities, probably. And so when we have a rehearsal that ends at 10 and then like we're still wrapping up stuff close to 11, and then I'm not getting back to the truck until midnight. Even if my day started a little bit later, there's something about coming back that late that makes you tired. And then I still want to get up early because for the things like I like to do in the morning, just to have like my routine, I still like getting up at the same time no matter what the schedule is. So I've still been up early until that very late hour. And there's been a couple times I got up a little later than I liked, but I'm still driven to get up early because that's just my habit. And so that's sort of hard. But the job itself, like actually being there, interacting with people, working on the show, working with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, like all that's a dream. I absolutely love it. The hours have just been kicking my butt because it's sort of my personal time clock adjustment and it not being regular. So like I said, like we may have just like a rehearsal in this time slot one day, and then another day we may have 2 time slots with a dinner break, but that last time slot falls really late, and so that's when it's kind of hard. Also, I need to remember to bring a flashlight with me because I got scared coming back to the truck because I was like, I think I'm on the right streak, but I figured it out. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Rebecca Farrell says, since you're on the technical end, you don't have to wear the garb, or do you? I'm not sure what you mean by garb. When we get on stage, I mean, like right now, everybody's wearing their own clothes. We're in the rehearsal room. So we're still, we just started rehearsing the show. And when we get into tech and I am in the theater, I will have to wear stage blacks. Now, there have been situations where if the stagehands were going to be seen, they'll sometimes dress up the stagehands, of which an ASM could be a person who needs to go on stage and interact with stuff. And at that point, they'll figure out some sort of costume, even though you can usually tell because they usually have like a pack and a microphone and a costume, so it still looks ridiculous. But in my case, I will be wearing stage blacks, which means you just wear all black shirt, all black pants, black shoes, and I will be wearing those when we're on stage. We are not on stage, we're just in a rehearsal room. The actors and me and everybody is just wearing their clothes, whatever they want to wear. So I'm not sure if that answers your question about garb, because I wasn't 100% sure. Deborah on the Go says, I thought I was the only one that believed jinxing yourself was a thing. No, I very much, like, there's so many things I'll hold on to. And it's hard because people will be making suggestions to be helpful. And in my head, I'm like, but I already have something lined up, but I don't want to talk about it because, like, I feel like I'll curse it if I talk about it, so I won't talk about it. And so I'm not a big fan of, like, pre-announcing things. I tend not to get excited. Because I'm afraid also if I indulge in that excitement, it's gonna go away, and it's just a thing I go through mentally. So very much, you're not the only one. Ramona Hopewell says, "Come to Tennessee. Hiking here is beautiful. Maybe one day when I have time. We'll see what happens after October." V Hinton says, "Hey there, Lady Dawn. How you doing?" Penn in Kentucky says, "Have you been able to get any rest?" Yes, I think the thing as far as rest is just that my time clock is thrown off because the schedule is irregular. I honestly think once we get into runs, because once the show's on stage, it's pretty much a more standard work hours because we're outside. And the reason why I say outside in air quotes is, so there's this gorgeous park, which if I was going to hike anywhere, it would be there, called Lithia Park, that is right beside OSF. There is a wall between it and what's called the Elizabethan Theater. You go in that wall and you're in kind of a courtyard that is outside because it's a wall, but you feel like you went inside somewhere because you went through like a door and a gate and a wall. And so after you get past the courtyard, there's another wall, and so you walk into that wall and there's seating. And then there's like a back area that you can add to or subtract to build your stage, and that's 3 layers long, and it has interior areas. But the center of all of this is like a round globe, so you have seating behind here, and the stage over here, but this is a hole, so you're outside because the elements can get to you. So yeah, that's my sidetrack explanation of the stage. So technically we are outside, but we're not like in the middle of like a field. It's just that the stage area is actually exposed to the elements. The seating is kind of back from the stage. There are some parts that covered and some parts that aren't. Blech. Because we are outside and you want to light a show, for a show to be lit, it needs to be night. So our shows will start probably with a lot of God's lighting the show, and then as you get later in the evening, you'll be using a lot more stage lights, both artistically and because you wouldn't see anything because they aren't on. And so all of my shows will be in the evening, so I think like my body will adjust at that point too. When you work, you're working in the evening, whereas right now could be anytime because like I said, the schedule's irregular. And so like the worst thing that happens is like I want to get up early because that's my personal time clock, and my body will sometimes not let me get up as early as I want to, which is good because it's telling me you came in later, you need to sleep, but I will fight it and get up anyway because I want to be on my schedule. It's a mental game right now. Oh man. While I do all that talking, the chat just gets crazy. Terry Newell says, "When I was younger, I rode my bike 20 miles to and from work." That's awesome. I actually like walking though. I honestly do like walking more than like for like commuting. If I don't have to drive, oh, that's a good question, Julie. Was it 20 miles each way? I actually do prefer the walking. Like, even if it was 20 miles, I'd probably get up early enough to walk it as opposed to bike it, because I tend to enjoy it more when it's a walk. Because I'm not as worried about, like, accidentally rolling into traffic. It's maybe an illogical fear, but, like, traffic and people and animals, like, all those things that are part of the commuter experience, I get very insecure about that on a bike. Ramona Hopewell says, "COVID cut out so much that travel was rampant." Yes. Like, I don't know how many people know or remember this because it's still a thing, but like the price for our RVs shot up because people were home. A lot of people's jobs have been changed to online. And so suddenly they were just stuck in this place. And so if they got an RV, then they were still quarantining with their family. So they were with their family. They were in a house on wheels, and then they went off traveling. So there were a lot of people. There was a surge in interest in RVs during COVID, because you didn't have to get on a plane. You didn't have to get on a bus. You didn't have to worry about any of that. It was basically just getting a vehicle that you could drive somewhere and not be stuck in your house. And so during COVID, like, there was a huge interest, especially in RVs. But even the price of vans have spiked since COVID, because the one thing, and like, rental companies actually sold off a lot of their stock because they thought it was going to be the exact opposite effect. And what it turned out is the easiest way for people to get, whether it was for business reasons or personal reasons, the easiest way to get from A to B was to drive yourself, because there was too much complication in using other forms of travel, if it was allowed at all. And so actually, like, even rental companies for like just plain old rental cars were experiencing shortages, because people were using those to be able to like leave their homes and go somewhere. So it was really crazy, because like, you know, so many rental companies was like, oh well, nobody's gonna be going anywhere, and then they found themselves with these shortages. Like, even when I went to U-Haul, I was talking to a guy about the U-Haul trucks, and they were terrible and hard to rent. That's why I thought it was funny when I got the hotel room, everybody was advising me to like get a U-Haul instead, so I could still have like something to like sleep in. Well, first, there's a lot of reasons that plan wouldn't work out, but the main thing was when I went to get propane, like, I was talking to the U-Haul guy there, and he was talking about like people walking in thinking they could just get a truck, and they'd be like, I see that truck out there, why can't I rent it? He's like, that's rented, it's just in a time slot like 30 minutes from now, which is why it's still sitting there. So yeah, it was very interesting. Shara Mills says, I went on I just go on these tangents, guys. Says, walk while you can, Dawn. I was T-boned in my car over 10 years ago, and I can't walk far now. I miss it. I'm sorry, Shara. Lynn Anthony says, going to have some ginger tea soon. Ginger tea is the bomb. You make me want to go. I might go get me some ginger tea. Leroy Simpkins says, where's your favorite location? As far as places I would like to go back and explore, there's not one. There's Utah and Colorado. I would love to go back and do some more exploring and camping around Utah and Colorado. Like, both of those places were really, really gorgeous. Yeah. Miss VG says, love the thumbnail, Smokey sends. I'm assuming that's like a cat smile to Mickey. Hey, Mickey, Smokey sending you love on the YouTubes. Okay, he doesn't care. Julianne says, does the show you are working on have a schedule? Yes, a rehearsal schedule. Which days do you have? No shows right now. There are no shows. We're rehearsing. Like I said, there is no show right now. I was talking about in the future when we actually get into the theater. Right now we are in the rehearsal hall and the rehearsal room. And yes, I can do anything I can't do during the work week on my days off. And so, yes, I can edit a video, but what if I need to do laundry? Or what if I need to go get propane? Or what if I need to go do any sort of thing that's a personal task? I also have to fit that into those days off. So how that measures out with doing that and having time to edit a video is like my only two obligations aren't the rehearsal hall, which is on a rotating schedule right now. So that's the thing. The show is not up. We are rehearsing. We are not rehearsing in the same time slot as the show once it's actually up. And tech is going to be hell because that's a whole different thing. So there are three versions of a theater schedule. There's your rehearsal time, and your rehearsal time sometimes is on stage, but most of the time in an institution this big, it's not. It's in a rehearsal room or a rehearsal hall where you tape out the stage to the approximate measurements, assuming your room is big enough, and you basically make a map of what you're going to do on the stage. You also do like that creative acting stuff where actors actually do their work, and you do all that. Then during tech, you bring in the tech elements, you bring in the costumes, you bring in the lights, you bring in the sound. Those are long days with their own crazy schedule, and that is also because these two shows are in rep. So I'm on a show called Tempest, and there's another show called Revenge Song. Tempest and Revenge Song share a set, and there are elements that are switched out for Tempest days versus Revenge Song days. Our cast is also rehearsing in rep. They will be performing in rep, and our techs will be happening in rep. So again, it's the irregularity of the schedule. So I can't say every day on Wednesday I know I will have time to edit, because if by chance, probably won't, I have a Wednesday off, I might need that to do laundry, or I might need that to go to the grocery store because I haven't been able to get there. And so like those days off are also everything else I have to do. It can't just be an editing day. And so I just need to figure that out. And I will have to make it different week to week, because right now our rehearsal schedule is different week to week. I don't know if that made any sense. Like I'm not always going like Tuesday 10 to 4 or something like that. Rebecca Farrell says, I didn't know if they had in black or peasant costumes. The cast will have costumes when they are on stage, which won't happen for a few months. They are in fittings right now. So during the rehearsal process, usually what actors do is they will have time that's scheduled where they go and visit the costume department. The costume department has everything for the costumes, and we'll try them on them, take pictures, make adjustments, fix the costumes, take it off of them, and it stays in the costume shop until we are on stage. It's not something you use in the rehearsal room. Now, there may be specific pieces, like Ariel in Tempest has these huge wings, and there's no way we can wait till we're on stage to use those. So for specific pieces that might affect how an actor moves, might need certain amounts of space, and you do this with props as well. Anything you think, I need to practice with this before I get on stage, but you also want to give them time to work on the things that you don't absolutely need. So a lot of times actors will want their shoes just to see how they feel on their feet. If they have to do a lot of action or they're dancing or something like that, that's important to have in rehearsal, but their pair of pants might not be. So that's how it works between the two. I'm not going to reveal what the costumes are, but yeah, they have costumes. They're fun costumes, especially Ariel. Ariel's costume is gorgeous. There's a couple other really cool ones. And Prospero has a robe that's really cool. And he's going to have like a magic staff that lights up. But some of that stuff, right now we have a stick. We don't have the stick that lights up because we will get that when we're on stage. So there's actually 3 phases to like making a show a show. I don't know how I got on that tangent. But I will be in stage blacks because that's what stagehands wear. So anybody who's backstage wears stage blacks, and it's because you're semi-invisible because it's darker back there. And so you can kind of sneak in and do stuff. Not all the time. Sometimes people see you. But ideally, you're not seen. You're the invisible presence backstage, so you'll wear stage blacks. Penn in Kentucky says, does the show have videos online? The show does not exist yet. We haven't built it. We're still around the table reading the play, and we're hoping to get on our feet next week. Ideally, no, it's a live performance. You're supposed to come see it. So no, there's no videos online. There are also specific union rules about filming rehearsals with equity actors. So y'all. Charhart says, I like your Star Wars shirt. I never seen it in that color combination. Thank you. It's a little worn out because I've worn it too much, but I'd love to find this again. I either found it in Target or Walmart, and if I see it again in the right size, I'll probably buy another one. Sadie Louise says, you did mention the job with OSF a while ago, didn't you? I don't know how long ago I mentioned it. I did hold on to the information for a very, very long time. I was hired before I went to RTR. I'd already talked to Heath. He had said, we won't be able to follow up with you for a month, but I want to see if you're interested. I wanted to see if you're still available. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. I'm available. Schedule's open. And I was like super excited. Hopefully not too eager. Well, I'm here, so hopefully my eagerness was good. But yeah, I had spoken to him before I went to RTR. And I had talked to nobody about it. So it was only a conversation between me and him. And then I didn't hear from them for a while. And then I got sent the preliminary information for my contract probably while I was down in Arizona. It's hard to remember the timeline now. And so things were continuously happening through all that time. I had known I would probably come back for months before I ever spoke about it outside of my head. Vanlife Regina says, hey Dawn of Vanlife, let's go have lunch. Are you in Ashland? Jasmine Taylor says, hey Dawn, sorry. Hey Dawn, new to your channel, welcome. I've been running my mouth, so I'm doing some scanning here of the chat. Happy Gay Free in the Schoolie, otherwise known as Rob, says, will you be going to Descend? When is Descend on Ben? I don't even know when that is. I probably won't be able to if it's during the time of my contract, because I just don't have that much free time. I mean, technically there are some vacation days, but honestly, if I don't use those, I get a payout on those. And so I'd rather just have as much money as possible by the time the contract ends, and I have to prioritize having money. So I may not be able to go to Descend. I can't remember when that is. Jeffy's mom says, I just had to replace the engine in my 2010 wheelchair Dodge Grand Caravan that I just paid $12,000 for. It only had 59K miles on her. A used engine set me back $4,000. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's gotta kind of hurt. You know, I mean, machines are hard because you can do everything right and then buy the vehicle and bring it home and then something breaks, you know? I'm way behind on the chat. I'm going to scroll because I've been on about 41 minutes. I usually try to make these an hour, but honestly, if it goes a little bit over an hour, I don't mind. Mrs. Corrine Loonsby said, I lived in Ashland when I went to, I guess that's Southern Oregon University, SOU. I was able to get all my errands done with a wagon. I probably could, but then I really wouldn't have time to edit. Actually, like during the week, I do go to the Safeway because the Safeway is along my path, and I could walk to the Albertsons if I wanted to. But one of the reasons I like, well, first of all, it's good for the truck to be driven. So I don't want to leave it sitting. If it's sitting during the work week, I'd rather drive it somewhere on my days off, just so it's being driven and it's not just sitting around. The second reason is Mickey. The easiest way to bring Mickey with me is to drive. And that way he's with me while I'm running my errands, and like he's just there. I like me and Mickey driving around together and doing errands. But there's a lot of stuff I like, small stuff. I'll get from the little Safeway because that's on my walking path. But there's some stuff I like to get that are at, like, I like the Trader Joe's is a little bit further out. There's some stuff I like to get from Walmart. I've needed to get a couple of things from Home Depot. Like, all the stuff requires driving, so those are usually the things that I'll take care of on my day off. And I found, some people are gonna laugh and tell me I shouldn't be eating it, but I found vegan jerky, and I did not find it in Ashland. I found it in Medford. So when I run out, I drive and go get it. And I like the vegan jerky because I have a snacking thing. And the thing is, I snack not because I'm hungry, not because I want a specific thing. I snack out of boredom. And I recognize that, or it's a nervous tick. I'll snack because of a nervous tick. I'll snack out of boredom. It has nothing to do with my level of hunger. And so having things that aren't candy, cookies, breads, things like that to snack on when I just can't help myself and I am in the snacking reflex helps me out a lot. And so like the vegan jerky is protein, which is great. And so it's a good solution because sometimes you're just not going to stop. You can try as hard as you do, but if I just have a healthy snack, it's a little, and some people are going to be like, that shit not healthy. But if I have a healthy snack, it's minimizing the damage of my nibble snacking problem, as opposed to sitting here trying to mentally fight it. And that just is what works for me. And we all have to like find the thing. For me, that was the thing. So I have some dried chickpeas I keep around. I usually keep some sort of fruit around. And my biggest problem is potato chips. And so something like salty or something that has like the texture of jerky for some reason works better than fruit, or even vegetables sometimes. Sometimes that just deters me and gets me sort of out of that need to snack a little quicker. I don't know if any of that made sense. Anyway. Say to Louise, my P.O. box isn't posted because I don't got one. My Berkeley one is gone. Peace Farvin says, is the vegan jerky salty? Do you mean just general taste? Like for me, it doesn't really taste that salty. Yeah. Let me see. I have some of the. There's two kinds that I've been eating. So this is one of the Primal Spirit ones. And then there's another one that comes in more individual pieces. And usually what I'll do, because again, I have a nibble problem, is I will kind of break this up in small pieces. And then I'll just kind of eat it. I don't know. Is it salty? I mean, like, I don't know that it tastes salty to me. I'm sure it's salted. I'm taking a look real quick at the I wish I had a better answer. So Victoria says, how do you like popcorn? I love popcorn. But here's the thing. I don't have a microwave. And so the easiest thing available is, of course, microwave popcorn. I tried to do stovetop popcorn and I burnt it up about 3 times. I told you guys, I'm not really good at this whole cooking thing. And so I stopped doing that. So every once in a while, if I buy the bag popcorn. And the good thing about popcorn is there's a lot of volume for very little calories, especially if you get like the Smart Pop. But, all the words are gone. The bag of popcorn itself is really big and takes up a lot of space. And at least I also am trying to, I'd rather have something that's sort of protein based as a snack. I'll also eat boiled eggs, but boiled eggs are just kind of a single unit thing, whereas this I can break up into small pieces. And so for snacking, sometimes I like that nibble, that ability to nibble, and I can't do that as well with eggs. But I will eat, like, I also eat a boiled egg for a snack, and that'll give me a little bit more protein as well. So yeah, that's my like popcorn. Yes, right now it's just not a thing I'm eating a lot of. And I tried to do the stovetop pop stuff, and it was like, yeah, I burnt that like 3 times. I think I'm done. Ranger Annie says, hi Dawn, watching you today from good old Sacktown. What's up? Tina says, I snack a lot too, even when I'm not hungry. Yeah, it's like, I'm not hungry. People are like, if you do this, you won't feel hungry. It's like, I don't snack because I'm hungry. I snack because I'm sitting there. I can't actually leave. It's especially when I'm waiting for something to start. Like, that is the worst time, when I have like 20 minutes till something starts. And that's another reason I like, where is it? Ugh. Whoa, don't fall. That's another reason I like my Nintendo Switch, because also it'll keep my hands busy. And I notice a lot of it is like, if I can keep my hands busy, it's a little bit better. So, if I can keep my hands busy. It keeps me from snacking as well. So it depends on like what tool I have available. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, let me at least have something here that's going to keep me away from the quote unquote bad stuff. I don't like quantifying food as bad or good, but you all know what I mean. Because I think you can have almost anything in moderation. I will say a very bad thing that has happened is I was introduced to bubble tea. And that was a downfall. I was introduced to bubble tea, and now I get it several times a week, and I really don't need it. But it's a treat, and I have been able to do it, you know, in a specific window. The first day I got introduced to it, I ain't gonna lie, I got it twice. I went back and got some more. But at this point, it's like I maybe have bubble tea a couple of times a week, and that has become my new crutch. I have an addiction now to the bubble tea place. Jose says, have you heard that Isaac and Jaylena bought themselves a bigger bus? Yes, I've seen it. I also texted her. I was like, if I was close enough, I'd be there helping Isaac pull out those seats. And I'm glad they got the second bus and not the first bus they looked at. Because even when he started checking that bus, I know he really wanted that engine and he really wanted that bus. Like, he had very specific specs he was looking for. But that first one did not look great. And I'm like, the universe is telling you not to get this bus. And then, like, they got the other one. And I was like, that bus looks so much better. So I'm really happy. And all their reasons for doing it make total sense. So yes, I have seen that they have a new big bus. Boo boo. Kristen Kraft said, need the Jiffy Pop. They're fun. Yeah, I did. I burned it. Don't ask how, okay? I burned the Jiffy Pop. CJW says, I wouldn't describe that brand of vegan jerky as salty, though there's definitely salt included. Well, thank you. Because I was like, I want to say no. There's like another brand I ordered from Amazon that I'm gonna try when it gets here. I'm just playing around with it. Like right now I'm experimenting. Like I'm not trying to do the perfect thing. I'm experimenting with things and seeing how they land. And then as things work, I am incorporating them into like more permanent habits as well as I can. Sean H. also says, I eat when I'm bored, so I totally understand. Deborah on the go says, take a pack of instant oatmeal, put it in a bowl, and add peanut butter, make smaller balls, roll in cocoa powder. That's already too many steps. That's too many steps. That's already too many steps. Penn in Kentucky says, where are you in Star Trek? Have you seen the new Picard? I have seen season 1 of Discovery, as far as new Trek. I've seen all of old Trek. I've seen all the movies. I've seen the original series. I've seen the original animated series. I've seen Next Gen DS9, which I'd watched before. So that was more of a rewatch than a watch. Voyager. And I've also watched the J.J. Abrams verse, or the Kelvin universe. So I've seen the new series films, all 3 of those, which I actually think they're good. There's some stuff that were bad decisions, don't work, but I think they're actually good. I have mixed feelings about Discovery. I don't hate it. I'm not a big fan of what they did with the Klingons. I think they went too far. Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into I have not seen any of Picard yet because I want to finish Discovery probably first. I know Picard season 4, 2. Discovery season 4 just finished. Picard season 2 is in progress. And Strange New Worlds, I believe, starts when Picard ends. And I'm so excited for that show. But yeah, that show I'm like super excited about. Like, I'm so stoked for Strange New Worlds. But to answer your question, after I answered a lot of not your question, I have not seen Picard. I've seen season 1 of Discovery, and I've started season 2. And I've finished all of the classic stuff. And I've seen all of Lower Decks. I also want to watch the kids show, the Prodigy. Prodigy looks good. And I know it's targeted at kids, but it honestly looks like better animation than Lower Decks. And Lower Decks is targeted at adults. Also, Victoria says, love matcha boba house. Go there a couple of times a month. So not as addicted. The burnt out sugar smells so young. Well, the thing is, when I walk to work, I have to go buy matcha boba time. Where is it? I actually have the reusable cup. It's literally there as I am walking to work. So it's like, I could get a chai with boba. I see a lot of reminders. Thank you so much reminding people to hit the thumbs up button. So like, if you take a second to click out of the video and hit the thumbs up button, it will help me out a lot. So yeah. Dakota says, what about using an air popper for popcorn? I should look into that. Because the good thing about popping from kernels is they don't take up a lot of space. And once you buy already popped popcorn, besides the fact then you have to think about how much they buttered or salted it, and you don't have any control over that. Those bags take up so much, like bags of popcorn take up so much space already popped. And if I could have kernels and pop my own, I think that would be really cool. So I should look into an air popper. That's a good idea. Thank you. Cheryl says, what did you say was your mail-in address? I didn't give one because I don't have one for you. Jessica Harper says, too bad they didn't make mini microwaves for traveling. Well, the problem with a microwave is it needs power. And I don't really miss having a microwave. Like, literally, my only purpose in a microwave would be popcorn. When I have to heat things up, I just use my oven. And that's been fine for me. Like, I haven't needed anything else. In fact, I would say the oven, for me, is doing what a microwave used to do, in that I just heat up stuff in it. So especially when I'm just either trying to reheat something that I made in multiple portions, or like I really just need something fast, and so I go buy like a frozen meal, I'll just heat it up in the oven. So I don't really have the need for a microwave that will require electricity, because there are people who have microwaves in their rigs. You can find lower wattage microwaves that a lot of people's rigs can handle with occasional use. But the only thing I would use it for is popcorn. Like, I use my oven for everything else. My camera's really looking fuzzy. This is the Android phone, y'all. So go ahead, all you Apple braggers. This is the Android phone. And the camera is fuzzy. Whoa, Captain Jack Scrapper, sorry, said they got an air popper, and as soon as they turned it on, all 4 tires on my rig blew out. Ooh. Penn in Kentucky says, I feel the same about the Discovery Klingons, LOL. Yeah, they just went too far. Like, they could have made them bald. Sorry, I'm going to go on the Star Trek thing. I don't like the actual suits with, like, the bones. Like, that was too much. Like, I think they could have done something new without going that far. And it didn't help that they were doing something so conceptually different. I'm in my zone right now. Because they were trying to say they were in the Prime universe, but they already looked a lot like the J.J. Abrams movies. And I think adding that element to the Klingons just took it over. It really made it even harder for people kind of to accept it as part of the Prime timeline. Nerd alert. Ramona Hopewell says, Dawn, I hate to cook, LOL. I know. You feel me? It's like when I start reading instructions, I'm like, okay, this is too many instructions. I'm done now. CJW says Discovery gets way better in season 2. I'm excited. I've only seen I'm into the second episode of season 2, but I already love Captain Pike. And dang it, what is his name? The tall guy that was in season 1. He's like the best new character. Of all the, I don't have anything against Michael Burnham. I just find her boring, if I'm gonna be honest. I just don't find her that interesting. I don't know why they needed to connect her to Spock. It feels a little too try hard to connect her to Spock, and I just find her boring. I don't even hate her. She's fine. I don't hate her arc in season 1. It's fine, but she's just not a very compelling character to me. I don't know. Tortilla, I can't say words. Corn 180 says boba was something I found during the pandemic. I love the aloe too. It's really refreshing. Ranger Annie says, I tried the Gardein vegan jerky. They got the flavor right, but it's salty and the texture is off. It's a little too soft. When you say they got the flavor right, are you talking about it tasting like meat? I haven't eaten meat in 20 years. So the flavor for me is just the flavor of the thing. And if I like the flavor of the thing, it's not so much comparing it to jerky, because I haven't eaten actual meat, let alone jerky, in so many years. And I'm kind of like that with any of the faux meats when I eat them. Is I'm not expecting it to taste like X, because I haven't eaten X. It's just does this thing taste like something I like? And that's sort of the end of it. It's for me. And so if you mean flavor in that regard, it might not matter to me. If you mean flavor as flavor in general, I'm interested to find it and try it out. Jamie Summers said, I do popcorn on the burner in a pot. I would definitely burn it. I couldn't even fix the Jiffy Pop without burning it. Tortilla says, Dawn, are you working something? I'm behind on the videos. Uh-oh. My phone is I'm gonna die. Where's the charger? There it is. Found it. Alright, cool. Let's get the charger in the phone. So it doesn't go away. Kristen Kraft says, how's the diet been going? Your face is looking thinner. Well, that's what all this stuff is about. I don't really consider myself on a diet. I am trying to find corrective eating that I can do forever. And so that's sort of what I'm experimenting with. It's not like I am doing X to lose weight. It's more I recognize some bad food behaviors I have, and I'm trying to put in corrective measures that I will always do to fix that, if that makes any sense. So it's going as well as it's going. This kind of stuff, it's all experiments. It's okay, well, if I use this as a substitute item, how does it affect me? How do I feel? Is it contributing or decontributing to energy? How I feel doing workouts, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Freedom Living in Drew says 600-watt microwave at Walmart, $50. Too many watts for something I wouldn't use that much. 600 is a lot. For me personally. What is the biggest? I think the biggest power hog I have in here is my fridge. I try to stay very low on my power needs. And the most annoying power hog I have is my laptop. And it's not that even that it pulls a lot of high wattage, but it just pulls power constantly. That battery just yeah. And I can kill some power editing because my laptop is a power hog. Ideally, I'd like to get an iPad to edit on, because it would just use less power. And there's this editor called LumaFusion that is really good, that was something not available years ago. The level of editing options you have on LumaFusion is insane, and there are people I've been watching videos about it who edit all their YouTube videos on LumaFusion, and their videos look way better than anything I will ever accomplish. And so if I get an iPad, it'll use less power, but iPads aren't cheap. I don't know how I got to iPads for microwaves, especially being the anti-Apple person I am. I have this little lock that I just can't get to stay in my braid and my ponytail until it grows out. I also just cut my hair, so I look super bald in the back. It freaks me out when I turn around. Whoa, Ramona says we are at 200 chanting. Thanks everyone. Dawn's awesome. Thank you so much, Ramona. You're sweet. How's the weather? It just started raining. Wait, I lost that comment. Who asked that? Oh, external influences. How's the weather where you are? Snowing and 20 degrees here. Not snowing. Mild weather. Raining occasionally, including right now. Dragonheart Craft says, who here loves the Mandalorian? I'm all about Din Djarin and little Grogu. Patricia says, hope you're having a fantastic evening. How is Mickey doing? Mickey's doing okay. I think he's adjusting. He doesn't like when I have late rehearsals. He's usually sitting in the seat staring at me like, where were you? Now, mind you, if I have a late rehearsal, it was 4 hours, and I was probably back in the box truck at home before I left him. So it's only been like 4 hours. He's eaten. He's had some pets, but I think it's just a time of day because he sleeps during most of the middle of the day. But he's usually up in the evening. So when I come back from a late rehearsal, it's like, where were you? And why weren't you here? But he seems to be doing okay. Like he's doing okay. I haven't noticed any crazy, weird, unusual behavior. Penn in Kentucky, they do have a new Star Trek show coming out. It's called Strange New Worlds, and it is Captain Pike. They're also going to have Uhura on it. She's been recast. This is how much of a nerd I am. When I get into something, I get into it. So it's going to have Uhura. There's going to be a, what was the nurse's name on the original series? She's going to be on Pike's Enterprise. There's going to be a few people that I guess were already there before James T. Kirk took over the ship during Captain Pike's era, and one of them is a young Uhura. And I just hope they don't mess her up. I honestly wish they weren't doing a bunch of original series characters. Like, Spock is fine, because we know Spock had a relationship with Pike before James Kirk, but I don't know. I hope they don't just, like, sink too hard into original series characters and let Strange New Worlds be its own thing. It's not a live stream without a couple of Star Wars and Star Trek moments. We're at the over hour mark, so I'm gonna do some scrolling and look for questions because I'm probably gonna wrap this up. It's also starting to rain pretty hard. Hopefully it won't rain for too long. Dragonheart Crafts, I do like dragons. Dakota says diets don't work in the long run. Most will gain all the way back plus more. Speaking from experience. There's something I think, because your diet is just what you eat. That's all really the word diet actually means. If you change your diet in a way that's sustainable, like if you make yourself do something just to lose weight and you hate every second of it, you're not going to sustain it. Whereas I think the people who have sustained weight loss, they found long-term ways to eat. Because for me, it's about the sustaining. I have lost weight before. Losing weight is not an impossible thing. I have done it. I've done it several times. Now, I've never reached a goal weight, but I've dropped, 30, 40, 50 pounds before and gained it back. And the thing is, like, if you're doing something you know you won't sustain, it's gonna come back. And so I want to know I'm finding the things that I can do permanently. And that's like more important to me, you know, than speed or being perfect or any of those things. So yeah, that's where I am in my headspace. And if you have a dragon puppet, I totally want to see it. All right, it's I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's raining pretty. Let me see. Let me show you guys. All right, we're gonna go. Ah! So that's what's going on right now in the parking lot. I'm gonna see how long it rains, cause I'm at Fred Meyer, and I was gonna go inside because there's a couple of things I like to get from here, grocery wise. And I think I'm gonna wait and see if this, cause sometimes it rains for like an hour, and then it goes away. But it hasn't rained this hard in a minute. I will say it's been proven to me that my corners are sealed up on the truck, which is good. I actually like the sound of the rain. It's just I don't want to go out in it right now and get soaking wet. But the sound is great. Alright guys. See you guys next time. I will be dropping a video on Wednesday. In fact, as soon as I jump off of this, I'm gonna upload it since I got it edited. Yay me! And, there he is. There he is. Mickey, say hi. Say hi, buddy. Hi. Hi. Are you just waking up? Alright, see you guys. Like I said, I just have to put him on camera. Like I said, the video will be out on Wednesday. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.